From a legacy of legislators and leaders to initiated by coffin, today we look at Skull and Bones, the secret society you didn't know about. Number 10. Origin. The beginnings of this secret society can be traced back to Yale University in New Haven, Connecticut. In 1832, Skull and Bones founders Alphonso Taft and William Huntington Russell created the secret society in response to Russell's lack of invitation to the academic society Phi Beta Kappa. From then on, more secret societies would begin to sprout up in thanks or as a counter to the popularity of Skull and Bones. The founders of the societies Scroll and Key created the organization for reasons similar to Russell and Taft, but this time due to being excluded from Skull and Bones. These secret societies grew in power over the next century, with Skull and Bones and Scroll and Key running the roost at Yale for the next 41 years before other secret societies would attempt to enter the fold. However, by then Skull and Bones and Scroll and Key were too far established. Any challenging organizations would either end up settling with a lesser status or fall apart as their potential members would be tapped by the two senior secret societies instead. This issue is no longer a problem at Yale, as many organizations coexist today with hundreds of secret society members-to-be being tapped annually. Number 9. Rituals. Near the time of commencement each year, a day was designated on campus as Tap Day, the day in which seniors would choose juniors to join their secret society. This process incorporated hundreds of male students escorted by women. Together, they viewed a ceremony in which seniors would ask individual juniors to visit their room, where an invitation would be found. These invitations were almost never rejected. This style of ceremony, with juniors gathering in a courtyard in hopes of being chosen, continued until the 1950s. However, simply being picked or tapped to join the secret society isn't enough to get you in. Partially responsible for the mysterious aesthetic surrounding the group, rituals and ceremonies play a huge role in evoking and proving loyalty to Skull and Bones. Some of the society's initiation ceremonies that have been recounted include lying in a coffin to symbolize a rebirth of sorts, the sharing of new members' entire sexual histories, and nude mud wrestling. Recent reporting has shown modern initiation rites have strayed quite a bit, with many of the society's outings prior to Tap Day being little more than pranks and stunts. This has caused the public image of the society on campus to be more akin to just another fraternity, in some regards. However, its legacy can't be shed that easily, and the famed reputation and rumors of the Skull and Bones rituals continue to circulate today. Number 8. Bonesmen. Though the society has grown and changed in the nearly 2 centuries since its inception, its potential to attract a who's who of celebrities, politicians, and leaders has remained relatively consistent. Referring to themselves as Bonesmen, the members that make up these ranks range from Academy Award-nominated actors to the father of American football. Skull and Bones is responsible for more than 50 members of Congress and 3 U.S. presidents. In 2004, for the first time ever, 2 Bonesmen ran against one another for the office of President of the United States when John Kerry ran against the incumbent George W. Bush. Though a secret society in operation until 1971, the organization made its roster publicly known via Yale's library. This practice, however, would cease after 1982, with memberships following this date being left to speculation. Today, the Yale tabloid, The Rumpus, publishes its list of 15 students tapped to join that and many other organizations on campus annually. Number 7. The Tomb. The culture surrounding Yale's secret societies developed terminology that would only add to their pre-existing mystery. Societies that have a hall, house, or other property that acts as a base of operations is known as a landed society, with said base being referred to as their tomb. The tomb of the Skull and Bones Society stands tall as an imposing bare and windowless building, symmetrically crafted of sandstone. The inside of the tomb is said to be filled with decor resembling the organization's namesake, as grim artwork, artifacts, and memorabilia form a macabre atmosphere. There have also been reports by competing societies, specifically those that braved breaking into the tomb, that the inside of the tomb also features some more questionable rooms. These include a tunnel that leads to a chamber with a single coffin, and a lone chamber inside of a tower that contains candles, a chopping block, and a skeleton-decorated basin filled with red liquid and bats. Number 6. Deer Island. In addition to the regal hall of the Skull and Bones tomb, the society owns another property used for retreats by both current and alumni Bonesmen. This land, known as Deer Island, is located on the St. Lawrence River between mainland Canada and the United States. It is owned by the Russell Trust Association. This island itself is not especially big, at about 50 acres. Forest-covered ruins of abandoned buildings from generations past surround the island and its lone standing structure, the Skull and Bones Society Lodge. These ruins represent the opulence of prior generations within the society, as Deer Island at one point also hosted tennis courts, softball fields, catering, and a plethora of harvestable berry bushes. These amenities are long gone today, with modern bonesmen torn between condemning the island's current state and appreciating its natural beauty. Number 5. The number 322. Symbols and codes are essential when it comes to hidden communications, so it should come as no surprise when one of the most infamous secret societies in the world has their own as well. The number 322 appears time and time again alongside their insignia. The reasoning for this number is debated. However, there have been some theories developed pertaining to its significance. One popular belief originating from letters between early society members found within Yale's archives claims 322 to be a year, specifically 322 BC. It is believed that 322 BC, the year the Lamian War ended with Greek orator Demosthenes' demise, is important as it changed government rule in Athens to plutocracy, granting citizenship only to those who could afford it. This is said to represent the society's theorized goals of following the same path and putting the United States government exclusively into the hands of the wealthy. Another claim theorizes the numbers refer to the phrase, founded in 32, Second Corps, with the belief of a First Corps' existence at an unknown German university. Whatever the true reason behind 322, members tend to have an infatuation with the number. One room in the Skull and Bones tomb is known for being covered in license plates from across the country, all of which sport the notorious 322. Number 4. Nicknames. Being in a secret society requires more than a bit of secrecy, and what's more secret than a code name? Bonesmen are typically assigned nicknames upon completing initiation, a term by which all fellow bonesmen refer to them for the rest of their lives. The names chosen for each individual member are literary, religious, or mythical in nature, and typically indicate something personal about them. Some names are wholly unique, while others are passed down from one generation to the next. Bold, vivid names such as Thor, Baal, Odin, Boaz, Magog, Sancho Panza, Hamlet, and more fill the roster of the Skull and Bones Society at any given era, as this practice reportedly continues today. Sometimes, however, members are given the option to pick their own name. One story, as supported by bonesmen of the same class, tells of George W. Bush's choice of name. Upon finding himself unable to come up with an appropriate name, he supposedly chose a placeholder nickname until he could come up with something better. But the name stuck, and today, fellow bonesmen know the former president from his time at Yale by the codename Temporary. Number 3. Crooking. As a secret senior society at one of the most widely recognized Ivy League universities in the world, you would think they would be above theft, right? Ever the scourge of campus, Skull and Bones has built a reputation for stealing souvenirs from other societies and buildings on campus. In typical society fashion, the bonesmen transform this crime into a game of sorts, referring to the game as crooking, with members attempting to one-up another constantly. In addition to the crooking of items from others on campus, there have been widespread rumors regarding the skulls and bones used for decor within the secret society's tomb. One story in particular purports the organization is in possession of the skull and bones of Geronimo. Letters dated 1918 have been discovered over the years with the claim that Prescott Bush, grandfather of George W. Bush, and 5 other bonesmen exhumed the skull and femurs from Fort Sill. However, many reporters, authors, and even representatives of Fort Sill have refuted this claim, calling it nothing more than a hoax. Number 2. Theories. As with all secret groups, the fear of the unknown distorts reality to an outside perspective. It doesn't require too vast an imagination for worries to run rampant when considering the potential implications of an elite secret society's existence. With members of Skull and Bones potentially making their way from your bank to the White House, anxiety toward the group comes at no surprise. And yet, some of the theories regarding the organization are pretty far-fetched, even with the knowledge at hand. One theory supposes that the organization is currently in control of the CIA. One belief is that the group was funded by opium sales in the mid-1800s. And then yet another theory claims the group is but one of many involved in a combined effort to seize global control today. These and many other theories, some of which regarding their potential involvement in tragic historical events, litter the legacy of Skull and Bones. Thanks to these rumored actions of secrecy and infiltration, combined with a little help from the silver screen, The reputation of Skull and Bones continues to evoke an air of mystery to this day. Number 1. Exclusion. Given the public membership list, it's no secret that Skull and Bones had a very narrow demographic and an exclusively white male roster. However, in the modern world, the society has made a concentrated effort to stray away from these prejudiced exclusions. In 2018, of the 15 juniors tapped to Skull and Bones, at least 40% were female. A variety of ethnicities, genders, and sexual identities have become commonplace among the society, as its current leaders look to catch Skull and Bones up with the 21st century. And they're not alone. There are 50 secret societies on the Yale campus currently, each of which hosts diverse member rosters. These organizations have made a transformation in the last 2 decades from the hyper-elite fraternities they once were. With their days of exclusion behind them, perhaps the reputation of Skull and Bones is due for a change.